Boom. It is 10:33. I've spent the last 33 minutes. I've set up 3 Wirecast broadcasts, 3 mobile phone broadcasts. Nothing has worked. I've just gone back to the old Wirecast. Oh, man. YouTube, you're killing me. You're killing me. Seriously. That's very frustrating. But I am now here, and I've got a lot of news and stuff to talk about today. So let's get into that. Let me see if any survivors have actually made it through the 5 or 6 videos I've set up tonight to actually make it to this. Man. Just very frustrating. Let me put this over here and silence the speakers. So I'm guessing no one is going to find this. Okay, I'm just going to talk to myself. I might just do this whole thing in Japanese as I do at 12 anyway. Man, I'm just exhausted from this. Mary Lagos, I'm glad that you found your way here, because I'm surprised anyone could after all of this. And I won't mention Tomo Hooper, Wales getting smashed by Scotland. Really? Well, that kind of sucks. Sorry to hear that, actually. You've got a New Zealand coach, so yes. Did it really tweet out in French? Je ne comprends pas. Oh, man. Let me just delete all the other links here. Man, that's so frustrating. Anyway, delete. Yes. Delete. Yes. Let's just do the now live link on Facebook, where it actually is working now. Wow, it's actually in French. I see that now. Sergeant Bilko, thank you for that. Oh, man. Now really actually live. Boom. It's funny, YouTube, they offer like 10 different ways to go live on these things, and none of them work tonight. Just super frustrating, but it is what it is. What can you do? There I am. Here is my shirt, Aotearoa. I've got the news with me on the iPad here, which is what I also make tracks with. This is what I was going to share the news with you on, but that's not working. I am a little bit curious. I probably should not do anything too clever, actually. In fact, no, I will not do that. I'll only let you select one mic at a time on this. So, yes. Robert Ryan, welcome. Ty, welcome. Man, I am already exhausted. That's a messy desk. Let's keep that up there. Yes, I kind of want to sit back. So let's go through the news from my Twitter this week. What's been going on in reverse order, apart from like 10 different notifications of streams that weren't working. Hey, Schomburg, good to see you, man. Long time. So I would love to show you the links while I talk about them, but let's just go through. I'm kind of exhausted. I hurt my neck today. I'm coaching middle schoolers rugby. But man, they're getting big and they're getting good. And yes, I managed to hurt my neck. Although it's not so bad, actually. I can turn it around now. I was paralytic halfway through today. So yeah, let's get rid of that's what's happening with that. Let me turn off the night mode. And yes. So what's happening in Japan? Well, one very cool thing this week, of course, NASA discovered this this planetary system of 7 Earth-like planets, 3 of which are in the habitable zone around the planet TRAPPIST-1. I don't understand how you get TRAPPIST-1. Star names are Latin. They're based on basically the name of the constellation and the order of brightness, the brightest star in the constellation being Alpha, and going down. Some stars have special names, for example, like Sirius or Arcturus or Antares or whatever, Polaris. But most, especially in the southern hemisphere, where we didn't have a lot of Greek people being in the southern hemisphere and all that, not having yet colonized Melbourne, Yeah, most of the southern hemisphere ones, they just go straight by the like Alpha Centauri. Everyone says Alpha Centauri, but it's actually Centauri by the Latin pronunciation. It's actually the second closest star. It's a binary star system. It's close to Earth. It's 4.2 light years away, and Proxima Centauri is right beside that. But it turns out trapezium. So I don't understand how you quite get TRAPPIST. I noticed that when Gizmodo was showing the news about the super awesome star system nearby, they used the old Admiral Akbar looking really, really close, but not saying anything. And you know why? But it's actually not. It's not. It's trapezium, and which I guess would be trapezii. I don't get how you get TRAPPIST-1 from this, but it's pretty cool. They got planets, so there you go. Proxima is 4.2. Sorry, I stand corrected, Mr. Cordychap. Proxima is 4.2, Alpha's 4.5. Well, there we go. Oh, yeah, Hoshino-san. Call Hoshino, you in there. Oh, yes, good evening. I'm very glad you could join me for the music making last night. I made a really nice track, which I was hoping to play because I actually had, this time I had the sound sorted out. I made it so the volume would all be the same and I could play all the music. It would have been great, but the stream, it's the first time ever in years that the stream itself didn't work. Hey, Robert Ryan, glad that you can make it. It's not 6 light years. It's not, well, maybe trapezia. No, that's like 30 light years. But anyway, that was super cool. What else have we got here? We've got, North Korea is going to become a state sponsor of terror again. I mean, you can't paste VX on the face of people in an airport. Besides, of course, all the violations of their nuclear program and the missile testing, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I reckon I'd be totally chill with, I think what originally really, really set them off on this, I mean, there were lots of things, but the US was like giving them the terrorist search at airports. So yeah, well, people really know their stars here. That's pretty good. You guys know your stuff. Okay. The statue in there are lots of these statues, but it is continuing to develop. That is a real mess. I've talked about this before. You know what I'm talking about, the Comfort Woman girl statue. Just to go through what this was. It's a rule with the Vienna Conventions that whenever you basically you're not allowed to you have to protect both physically and protect embassies from basically being targeted to sort of, as I understand, you can't put up big billboards in front of it. New Zealand, we can't put a big billboard in front of the Australian embassy saying, we beat you at rugby or something like that. You're not allowed to do that. It's actually, offensive, and it sort of breaches diplomatic protocol. And it's a responsibility of every country to make sure that every other country's embassy is respected. It's just one of the rules. And, the reason is that if you don't have a rule like that, stuff will go to hell pretty quickly. However, in Korea, it's very sensitive and very good politics to bash on Japan. And, there's been lots of issues over the years with this, but a particular one is where and a sensitive one is where these NGOs that support Comfort Women came up with a very good idea of having this very clever idea of having a young girl statue representing the kidnapped. The kidnapping is actually controversial, at least in Japan. It's not documented. It's considered part of the irrefutable, history everywhere else in Korea. And this is by the witnesses who say that they were abducted. A lot of them were actually sold by their own families into this, and it was, and their families or they had agents that were paid according to the Japanese government. But, however it ends up, these women were terrible victims of this whole thing. And this is something that Japan's acknowledged and paid compensation for now multiple times, and apologized for multiple times. But in any case, still wanting the Japanese government to sort of admit that these people are entitled to direct personal compensation. The NGOs that don't want to let go of this, they basically made this statue, which they put right in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul. And the Korean government basically didn't want the political fallout of trying to get rid of the statue. So they didn't know what to do. And these things have now been increasing. They put them in front of every consulate that Japan has in Korea, including the one in Busan, which they were going to take away or prevent being installed. But then the city council there stopped it at the last minute. And the whole point with this is that I suppose there's two elements. One, that was done in direct reaction and protest against the Korean government agreeing to settle the comfort women issue with compensation and an apology from the Japanese government. Like for a multiple time. They did it back in the 90s already. And to push back against the Korean government's decision to settle it, they were actually like bashing on Japan harder, and the local governments don't have the guts to base it. And who would? I mean, who wants to take down a statue of a raped girl, right? But that's sort of what they're in the spot of doing. It's kind of for Japan. It's like, well, dudes, I thought we agreed on that. You told us that this could be settled. We made a big announcement together that this would be settled. And it's not. And, I think at the end of the day, maybe these things, they just can't be settled. Maybe that's the case. But that has been going on this week again. They are still trying. The Korean government is trying to persuade the Busan authorities to take it down. The Busan authorities are saying, do it yourself. I made a track last night. It sounds really nice. I'm going to try to play it. It's a good drum and bass track. It's called Mataka. It is on the Tokyo Digital Crew Hot 25. You can't really hear. It's going to be kind of tinny on that one. But it's a good track. Cool, Hoshino, was it $100 per person? Well, of the living ones, it was a bit more than that, but some don't want to take it. So yeah, it's a nice track. If you want to see me make how I made this track, I made it live last night, or I didn't actually. I had already made the stem and I queued up the track with the loops. But yes, I made it on Tokyo Digital Crew channel last night live. I've got the link. It's on my Facebook. It's on my Twitter. Check it out. It was actually pretty fun making it. It was nice having Kuro Hoshino and Tai Nakamura there, and it's a pretty good track. So go check that out. There's a scandal happening at the moment involving Abe, which I mentioned in the title. There's a station. Actually, I should check the pronunciation for this, but it's Moriyu or Moritomo Gakuen, which is apparently it's a super right-wing private school that apparently has a lot of funding from people who want, they're based on, they're a school that wants to reinstall the values of pre-war Japan based on Shinto religion. And basically it's it's built on nostalgia for the people who, thought that everything Japan did was right in the war. They have as their honorary principal the wife of Shinzo Abe. And when they bought land for the school, it turned out somebody stuck up that they actually paid only 10% of the market price of this government land, which was sold to them. And the question is, well, how did they get such a good deal on the land? Who did Abe or his wife, for example, exercise influence to get them this deal, 90% off on the land for a school where the principal's got in trouble recently, from what I understand. Moritomo. Thank you for that, Michael Beckett. I've only been reading. I haven't really been watching the news closely enough on this. But the principal on this has talked about, he's called Koreans and Chinese basically different translations and variations of scum. There was one in the school, apparently a Chinese person who was getting bullied by the teacher and left. And the principal, when being interviewed about it, said, well, I wonder why a Chinese person would come to the school in the first place. And indeed, I mean, he's pretty much admitting that, this was a Jewish person coming to a Nazi school. That's pretty much what he was saying. He was pretty much admitting it. The fact that, by the way, it must be said as well, Mrs. Abe, Abe's wife, actually seems pretty cool. She's generally pretty liberal. She shows up at LGBT events. She seems much more liberal than her husband. In fact, she's generally considered a massive plus for his image and reputation. So she's not of the sort of politics associated with the school. But it's kind of hard to, Abe sort of said the innuendo that, and this is a stereotypical scandal. These are the sort of scandals that routinely bring down Japanese prime ministers. Abe has kind of said in Parliament that if he is linked in any way, that his influence was used, or that he was linked, that him or his wife was linked to this transaction, he will resign both as prime minister and as a and sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time, and as a politician, which I guess you'd probably have to do anyway. But there we go. Coalition, was it $100 per person? It was like 10. Oh, yeah, I don't know, but it was like 10 million. I thought, was it less than that? But anyway, it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. It might be the scandal that brings down the government. So what else we got here? We've got questions that Japanese people don't like to be asked in job interviews. So I guess if you really don't like someone that you're interviewing, maybe you should just ask these. Who knows? Gakushisimon. So there's a ranking here in Japanese of things that you shouldn't ask in job interviews. One is saying, do you have any questions for me? They don't like that. What else do we have here? Oh, that's closed down. Let's try it again. Boom, boom, boom. This is from Toyo Keizai. Man, I'm just having technical issues on top of technical issues tonight. Okay, that is not working, so I'm just going to move on to the next story. But yeah, there were like 9 questions that you shouldn't ask. So apparently, even after the scandal sort of came forth, the defense minister gave thanks to this racist school that Abe's wife sponsors. She sent a thank you message for helping to reinstill respect for the armed forces. That's her. Inada Tomomi. I think that's Tomomi, right? Yeah, and anyway, she is in another bad place as well because she was praising the school. So what else we got here? Oh man, this is just not loading at all. I'm having technical issues left and right. IKEA, in Japan, IKEA is pronounced IKEA, is going to set up an online store with 9,000 goods. Should be pretty cool, actually, and hopefully that will happen. Someone's got a theory that people have stopped watching TV because the TVs are too big, which actually I kind of get. It seems like a big deal to be watching TV when it's so huge. Hey, Nicholas Rapp, good to see you, man. I'm glad that you could make it. I barely made it myself. I am only going to go for another 10 minutes because it's late, and yeah, I got to get up early in the morning. But Mario Kart. So let's talk about Mario Kart. I know people are worried about this. So people might be familiar with the kind of mainly aimed at foreign tourists, the getting in go-karts and driving around Roppongi and so on, and it looks pretty cool, and I've wanted to do it. It's from MARICAR, maricar.jp, and apparently Nintendo's been known to do this sort of thing. Nintendo is not impressed. They're not happy, and it's these guys here, and it looks super fun. You wear Mario and Luigi clothes, you drive around at night, and it looks super fun for parties and stuff like that. But Nintendo considers people who have complained about it, who don't like to see these carts going around, they've complained to Nintendo, and Nintendo's complained that it's a violation of their intellectual property rights. And certainly it does appear that this Mario Kart, did not have permission from Nintendo to use the Mario characters. So Nintendo, I guess, was entitled legally, and it was probably would have been smarter if they had actually reached out and asked permission to use these characters before they did. I mean, you wouldn't be able to drive around as Mickey Mouse. I mean, you'd actually probably be that. Disney would send out hit squads after you if you did that. So, Nintendo is a little bit nicer than that, but they have sought an injunction to stop the service, which is a shame. They banned the service just because a couple of people complained. But there again, I mean, the lesson is they probably should have got permission in the first place. But it seems a shame, and it's kind of uncool, frankly, by Nintendo, if you ask me. So what else have we got here? We've got... I find I was just live streaming some Modern Combat 5 the other day, which was quite good. What else have we got here? I actually like there were some good tracks lately. Joshua Matthews, Rebellion. He made a really awesome track. Not all of his tracks. No, I made a mistake of retweeting, of reposting this onto your digital crew. When Josh Matthews actually is a professional producer, and his tracks are quite often made for actual professional use. And I've got to respond to him. He dropped me a message last night that he is actually going to make his track available, this last one, because it is really, really good. Also have to give a big shout out to Mata Gaijinka, whose last track as well was really, really good. I was just listening to it last night. And man, yeah, her stuff is like, I can't, it's like full-on studio sort of stuff now. It sounds really, really good. But yeah, Josh Matthews is going to be making available his track for download, even though that wasn't the original intention. But it's kind of cool. It's going to be a chance for people who are interested to go and download and use that track. So that is pretty awesome. Spring has come 22 days early in many states of America, which sounds good, but you know, it throws a lot of things out of whack when that sort of thing happens. Of course, you don't want that to happen 22 days early here, because the Hanami is scheduled for April 1st. But again, you never know. I mean, yeah, you have a cold day and everyone says, oh, this whole global warming was a big joke, but you know, it's got issues. So what else have we got here? Google and Uber, which I didn't know about their tie-up, but yeah, apparently Google invested a lot of money in them, but they're also kind of fighting with them about lots of stuff. Premium Friday started this last Friday. The last Friday of every month, people, basically it's a government campaign that companies let their employees go home at 3 o'clock. So that is pretty cool. Hemingford Gray 62, good to see you. And the Hastings Old Town Carnival in the 80s used to tell participants not to dress as Disney characters because there have been difficulties in the past. Well, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Well, now you can't dress as Mario either, it seems. They'll come after you and sue you, which is a shame. Massive shout out. Oh, by the way, I will put a link in. This is a good reminder to myself of that. I'll do it as I talk. Kat McDowell, she's coming. She's got her 10th anniversary coming up. Since she started making albums, and as you know, she is awesome and her music is super awesome. And so boom, there is the Kickstarter. I'm going to update the video information right now, and I went and backed it myself. You know, she's looking for Kickstarter funding. That's Kickstarter. She's looking for funding to basically get studio time to sort of do a 10th year anniversary. And remember, she was originally signed up with Avex, so she did like awesomely well. She's from New Zealand and Japan. I think her father's from New Zealand. But yeah, she was in Japan for a long time. She's in California now. And she is just awesome, and I'd really like to see her get this done, her 10th anniversary album. So I just updated the video information at the very top. Now, if you refresh the screen, you will see a link for her Kickstarter, and go support, go give her some love, because yeah, it'd be really cool to see that get done. And now I've just realized that I need to go back to the video myself. By the way, just as I say this as well, I know it's been kind of a disastrous start tonight, but please do remember to click on the like and the like button if you're so inclined. It does help with the video. I like to get this thing sort of back up and going. Of course, it's not very good having that happen with the music and the caption not working, but I do appreciate when people do that. Yeah, after this video, by the way, I continue. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to do a Japanese roundup, so you can hear me speaking Japanese for about 15 minutes after this. So check out that. What else have we got? We've got oh yeah, Kenny Gang. He made a video game using Mata Gaijinka's music as a background for one of the games, and also my music for the menu music, and it came out really, really well. So yeah, you can find the link to it on Twitter and on Facebook, but you can download the game. It's only 19 megabytes, and it's like really, really cool. I was playing it the other night, and it was pretty awesome, actually. What else have we got here? Just flipping through. they're trying to make Pluto a planet again. The 4-minute prologue for Alien Covenant. I can't wait for that. That's going to be pretty cool. Russia just admitted that it has an information warfare unit. Hell, they beat America by the looks of it. So they're doing pretty good. Yeah, Morimoto Gakuen. In fact, here they're calling it Morimoto Gakuen, but it's actually Moritomo Gakuen. So the Asahi Shimbun English version, probably the translation. Yeah, I see that they've corrected it later, but yeah. In fact, maybe I tweeted that wrong. Anyway. Yeah, Okinawa continues to be pissed off at all the bases, all that sort of stuff. There's a video with Hiko making an angry posture. That's right. That was going to be my live mobile video, but it wouldn't buffer up. It wouldn't start doing that. That was the angry posture, but it didn't happen. It didn't like my angry thumbnail, I guess. Oof. Well, so tonight, I'm sorry. That's really. I mean, this kind of sucked, but this happens sometimes. It is good to be back. Thank you, John Anderson. It is good to be back. I really appreciate all of you guys following. I'm sorry it didn't work out so well tonight. I will be back next week. I'm going to keep doing this every week. I'm going to kind of upgrade the thumbnails a bit. I'm going to upgrade the... I am going to show you. I actually had it all set up so that the music would be playing really nice while I'd be showing you the stuff. And the levels would all be under control. But I guess you're going to see that next week. So what I'll say is this. This will all be fixed and better next week. So stay tuned. Be ready for that. And also all of you guys, hang around if you speak Japanese, because I'm going to speak Japanese next for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go. So have a good week, everybody. Good to see you all. And take it easy. Peace.